Number 1. Killian. On June 23rd, which is just a few days ago, Killian revealed a cold, harsh truth. That if you want to be famous in K-pop, you'd better bury your orientation or else you'll be kicked in the butt. Just like how he lost the chance to debut under JYP Entertainment just because of being gay. Yes, you're not hearing it wrong. Even one of the most successful companies in the industry still holds on to that discrimination mindset, and obviously that's not going to change anytime soon. Killian joined the K-pop industry when he was 14, and since that was also the time JYP was planning on debuting 2 p.m. and 2 a.m., he could have been a piece of either act, had it not been for his orientation. About the incident, Killian revealed that when he was in a relationship with another male trainee, the company figured things out and decided to kick him out right off the bat. The saddest thing was that his future after leaving JYP was as dark as night. Even with a package of talent and a visual that could hook everyone at first sight, he still suffered from discrimination and struggled to find a company that valued his flares instead of how he led his romantic life. After training at 5 companies in Korea, Killian ended up giving up the dream of being an idol and returning to Hong Kong. So maybe at the end of the day, it's still his hometown, and most importantly, his father, aka a famous action actor, can help Killian to some extent, right? Sadly, the answer is no. According to Killian, he was basically under house arrest, and though he didn't mention much about his family, the fact that his father had a fair amount of influence but still let him suffer like that already tells us a lot about his life at home. Wherever he goes, he would be followed, and even worse, they had multiple times demanded him to get testosterone injections since his voice was too feminine. His hardships only continued from then on. After a film opportunity fell through due to a scandal involving Chinese actress Fan Bingbing, Killian enlisted in the Taiwanese military and then tried to return to acting several years ago. However, his orientation still poses him tons of difficulties, because at the second try, a male boss tried to lure him into intercourse in exchange for a future main role down the road. He was even dragged into a bathroom, but luckily he managed to escape after several attempts to fight back. So yes, just because of being gay, he lost his chance to debut in one of the top companies of K-pop, was under control 24/7, nearly and still struggles to find his own way at the age of 30. However, time has passed and the industry should be more open to the LGBTQA+ community, right? The answer is still no. And you'll see why when looking at the fate of these new generation idols. Number 2. AQUANUS. Recently, on July 13th, AQUANUS confessed through Instagram that he's a bisexual. And for those who don't know much about him, he's quite popular in South Korea, after becoming the runner-up in the Mnet competition, High School Rapper 3. While his brief announcement, "I'm a bisexual," received quite a lot of positive reactions from his fans, K-Nuts didn't seem to be so happy about it. When the news about him coming out went on to Naver, netizens insulted him with all sorts of bad words, calling him another stain of the industry, a bad influencer for the young, and should go to hell for having a deviated mindset. On top of that, some also claimed they would stop supporting his future career, since he made them feel sick to the stomach just by the thought of his future rap about homosexual love. On all K-pop, it's also not hard to find malicious comments targeting his gender. The funniest thing is that while he's already proven his talent on one of the most famous rap shows of Korea, people still find a way to overshadow it by saying his orientation was a sin, and he's not clean enough to be an artist. Number 3. Formerly DIP's Seungho and BeBoss. If you've been a K-pop fan since Gen 3, there's high chances you've heard about the scandal that once shook the whole industry. Seungho and BeBoss, aka the members of DIP, who had already left the group in 2018, confirmed on one Instagram Live in 2019 that they were dating. The most shocking thing was that though the relationship had been going on for years, no one had a clue about their being lovebirds since K-pop fans took the skinship culture between same-gender idols super lighthearted. After they came out, people immediately dug up the old YouTube video where the two were holding hands, and said they should have realized earlier to stop gay people from having so much influence on others. Netizens said they felt bad for DIP's fans for spending so much time and money to support Seungho and BeBoss, who dedicated most of their time absorbing in love instead of rolling out high-quality music and performances for fans. People also called the couple disgusting and sickening, and told them to leave the industry for good, or their future music would be made dirty by their orientation. Number 4. Som Hye-in. First being famous for being an ulsang, Hye-in's reputation has risen a lot ever since she joined Mnet's idol school in 2017. However, since she was caught up in a bull scandal halfway through the show? She eventually left, and 2 years after that, which was 2019 to be exact, she was once again the center of attention for announcing that she was actually bisexual. When this news was posted on Nate and Naver, netizens had flocked into the comment section and used all the bad words to talk about her. And as you'd expect, her past bullying story was also dug up. First, they criticized that she was a nugu but always acted like a top star by putting her private life on social media. Then they moved on to telling her her orientation is abnormal, and she deserved to go to hell for being a lesbian and a bully. The worst part was that even her girlfriend, who had nothing to do with netizens and also did nothing guilty in the past, was also made fun of because of having short hair and dressing more like a man. Under such fierce pressure and immense hate from netizens, the couple didn't end their relationship on a bright note, and were said to have parted ways in the same year. Number 4. Former Wassup's Jie. On January 11, 2020, Jie took it to Instagram's story to announce that she was a bisexual and currently in love with a girl. While her post gained polarized opinions from netizens, most of them chose to raise brows against Jie and tried to drag her down with discriminating words. Similar to Yein, people started to call her abnormal for falling in love with a girl, shaming her body and regarding her as a sinner for going against the social norm. Not only that, Jie was also criticized for being vocal about how supportive she was towards the LGBTQA+ community, as if she was famous enough to make an influence. As netizens said, she was just another delusional nugu idol who tried to act famous like Yein, and didn't bother with how her future career would end up when announcing to be part of a minority like that. Maybe that sounds like kind of angry yet harmless threats because there were still many people supporting Jie when she came out. However, as life is cruel, Jie indeed struggled to raise her popularity afterward. Even when she was a YouTuber for more than 2 years, her channel only had around 8,000 followers, and on average, there were only 2,000 to 3,000 viewers for each video. Number 6. Marshall. While homosexual love has already been a big thing in places around the world, it was not until 2015 when Marshall came out that Kpop recognized the first ever gay artist of the industry. This time, he didn't simply go on Instagram to post anything, but decided to go big by coming out in an interview with Time Out magazine. As Marshall said, though his friends warned that the move was social suicide in the conservative K-pop industry, he still went forward to live as who he was. But just as what's supposed to be will be, coming along with that freedom was also a pretty hefty price that he had to pay. First is about his friends. In an interview with Billboard, Marshall said that even his friend once questioned if they were close because Marshall was romantically attracted to him. That could be a joke, but either way, Marshall was still put off for the misconception that gay people are attracted to all the men they meet. Then came the internet. After his coming out, netizens kept calling for him to get back to California because in Korea, he couldn't dare to hope that people were going to treat him normally. He was also shamed for having a deviated mindset, making the music industry dirty with his orientation, and there were even people saying his ugly visual combined with being gay is the greatest sin of his life. Number 7. Holland. On this list, Holland is probably the name that many of you are most familiar with, because he's the idol in the LGBTQA+ community that got interviewed the most by many big magazines. Different from all the other people here, Holland actually came out way before he was famous, which was in the 8th grade to be exact. And also for this reason, he used to be bullied a lot in his schooling days. Like what he said in an interview with Jakey Out, this traumatizing experience made him suffer from depression, panic disorder, and serious social anxiety.
되게 어린 나이에 우울증도 있고 공황장애도 오고 막 대인기피증도 오고 되게 심했었는데.
The most shocking thing was that, as revealed by Holland, some of the bullies were even idols that had already debuted. Being gay also made him the victim of discrimination, since when both Holland and Suzy came back and included a kiss scene in their MVs, his was rated R, but hers was only rated PG-13. When Holland's MV rolled out, many criticized and asked him to stop making trash music because no one would bother to care. Similar to all the hate these people threw at the LGBTQA+ community, he was also called abnormal, disgusting, and a sinner just because his orientation is different. And as you can guess, the hate still continues till today. So do you think these confessions were brave or kind of reckless? Comment down below to share your thoughts with us. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to BeBoss TV, since we'll be back with more interesting content. Thank you for watching.